Well, hey, welcome everybody. So good to have you here. We've got 18 people on watching, and I'd love to hear where you are from. I'm very excited to be running this workshop with you all. This is going to be a fun 3 days together. I'm just going to turn my sound down on my iPad there. Let's have a look. Who's here? We've got Bettina from Germany. Fantastic to have you here, Bettina. Put in the comments, people, where you're from. I know there's a lot of you watching, so I'd love to hear where you're from, what you're looking forward to about today. I'm excited about this journey that we're going on, which is going to be good. Painting some little water-covered rocks, river rocks, whatever you'd like to call them. Which way have I got it up? I think it's the right way. Who knows? Alrighty, so I don't know if any of you, well, all of you probably don't know exactly who I am. I'm Heather Bradbury, and I love painting photorealistic images, and I love helping people find their creative voice. So today, doing this beautiful live workshop is something that will help you, hopefully help many of you learn about the beautiful art of painting photorealistically. Just let me know in the chat if you can hear me. That we had a few little technical challenges to begin with, but we are here and going. Hi Gary from Melbourne, good to see you. Robin from Wellington, New Zealand, awesome. Well, while we're on New Zealand, we have two in our team, myself including, and also Judy, who's in the chat. She'll be under the name Mel Judd. She's in New Zealand, so there you go. There you go. Robin, you're next door, practically next door. And I'm in Melbourne, Australia, for those of you that are interested in knowing. You should know that from your emails. And for those of you that are here watching this live or coming in later on, if you click the link below, you can still be part of this workshop. You just need to go and put your email in and tell us what country you're from, and you'll get all the resource for today. And just so we know, the resource for today, it's got 2 pages. You have, the little resource there, which a little picture that has a grid on it. And also you've got another sheet here that actually has 3 different types of paints and different brands, I often use Art Spectrum. But there are other brands there from different parts of the world if you're trying to work out, how to convert the names of the paints that I'll be using today. So that will be in the link below. If you sign up, you can actually grab that and watch this. This live will be up for a little while, probably only about a week or so. So you can benefit from that even if you don't come live. But those of you that are live, I'd love you to put a comment in the chat to tell me where you're from. Anywhere in the world would be awesome, and what you're looking forward to today, which would be really cool. Alrighty, so I just wanted to just share with you very briefly before we get on, a little bit about me. Now, I have had some technical problems this morning, so forgive me if some of these don't work, but hopefully, no, it's not really working for me. That's okay. I will talk to it. So I love painting photorealistic images, like I said before, and we've got here, behind me here, one of the paintings that I'm working on, which I will be actually working on the last day of this workshop and actually talking to you about that, which will be really cool. I was going to show you a couple of things like the challenges in life and that we all have. There's a car crash that crashed into my gallery a few years ago, and it was really challenging. And I love using painting to help me with that, helping me just find some calm in my life. So I suppose that's the reason I wanted to share that, was because we all have our challenges, and I think that using something like painting and creativity is really helpful for us to slow down and have some chill time. Yeah. So what are we doing today? We are going to be painting, I'll get onto my desktop here, this cute little canvas. Now you can, again, if you're watching this, excuse me, later on, as a live, and not as a live, you might like to gesso this up, so putting on some acrylic paint onto here, beforehand, just some white acrylic paint, and it'll just make the surface, oh excuse me, Let's take a little sip. It'll just make the surface a little bit smoother. I don't usually do it, mostly because I don't make the time for it, but it does help. But no stress if you haven't, because I certainly haven't done it today either. All right, so just going to look at my notes to make sure that I've covered everything now. I really do want to hear, I know there's more of you there, love to hear where you're from different parts of the world. Bettina from Germany there is really... she sent me some fantastic testimonial, and I'm going to share that with you a little bit tomorrow once I get my setup back to it. I had to restart my computer, by the way, at 2 minutes to 8, so that's why there's not as many visuals today. That's all good. We've got our fun little canvas here ready to go, so it's fun. So Sean from Melbourne, welcome. Lovely to have you here. And I'd love to know also who of you, maybe just put a little smiley or something, who of you that are live are actually going to be painting along with me today? Because that helps. I feel like I'll have a little bit of encouragement there, you know, for people to be joining in on what I'm doing. Okay, we've got Gabrielle from Melbourne as well. We've got a few from Melbourne. Good old Melbourne's a little bit chillier here today, but a bit of fun. All right, I am going to get started on this wonderful little mini, and tomorrow morning I'll share with you a little bit more of some testimonials and some pictures of some of my current students. That'll be a bit of fun tomorrow. So let's get straight into it. Why not? So I haven't really set anything much up here because I thought I would take my time getting that ready. So if you have got your paints already out, you can start actually drawing up. You can grab a pencil and start looking at your image. Now I've got the image next to me here on the screen. Yeah, so you can just start drawing in while I'm going to start putting all the paints out, but you can start drawing in. We've got Carolina from Melbourne. Oh, I said that one. And Andrea, she's from Melbourne as well. Just would you say just woke up? Fantastic. Yes, I sort of feel like I've just woken up as well. All right, let's get some paints out here. All right, so we've got some titanium white. We've got some Payne's grey. So you'll see here I've put the colours down, and these will go in order. They won't probably be right next to it, but they will be in order going down here. And I'll do my mixing down in this section down in here. Fantastic. I know everyone's so busy getting ready that you are not typing anything in the chat. I understand that. But if you can, anyone else, just tell me if you're painting along. I would love to know. And if you're not painting along, you do have your hands free, so you can comment and just let me know what you're enjoying or any questions you have, because if you have questions, other people will too. So that's really helpful as we're looking at the chat. And yes, like Jude just said in the chat, if you if you are looking on later and you want to check out the resources for this, so that you can actually get the resources here that's got all of the information that you want on the printout, you can go there and have a look at that. Just type your email in and you'll be laughing. It's good. All right, we've got the last one. I'm just going to pop it over here. I'm going to put that one there. That's burnt umber, and then a bit of magenta. So anyone that so I currently run an online, what do you call it? Course membership. You call it a membership. And there'll be a few of you online here, and if you've got any tips and pointers on how to do these little minis, because we do one of these minis a month, and we found it, they've given me some fantastic feedback. And one of the feedback is we don't really know, what colours we're actually, needing. So let's go through the colours that we've got today here. So we've got Payne's grey at the top, titanium white, we've got phthalo blue here, we've got turquoise here, we've got golden yellow here, spectrum red, any bright red is fine, any sort of deep yellow is fine, burnt umber or a burnt sienna. I've chosen the darker one because it's quite a dark sort of image, this one here. And then magenta. Gosh, that colour does not look like magenta on the printout, but it is definitely a magenta. If I put a little bit of, you can't really tell there either. So that's a little bit of magenta at the bottom. Magenta is this beautiful sort of reddy, goldeny, browny, amazing colour. It's one of my favourite colours, as you all know. All right, we have someone else online, Helen in Windang, Illawarra, New South Wales, 12 degrees here. Well, yes, probably slightly warmer than here. Maybe, I don't know about that. All right, we're going to start drawing up now. Okay, so I have actually just very quickly, as you can see here, drawn up some lines. I haven't even used a ruler for them because rocks are so forgiving. They just really are. So it doesn't really matter if you get them a little bit wrong. If we're drawing a bird, if we're drawing a person's face, then we'd be a lot more particular about doing that. Now one of the things I like about the printout is that you can actually cut it out. It's the same size as a 4x4 inch canvas, and you can do a canvas that's just as long as it's a square. You can do anything because it's a square. But I'm loving these minis because we can get them done in the time. So what you can do is you can print this out, and you can put it on here. Looking for my pencil, it was in my hand. And you can put a little line where you can see where the grid marks are and go all the way around, little grid marks, and then rule that up if you want to be a bit more specific about that. But that's what's really helpful about the printout. And you can see the difference in colours there. And the interesting thing is I've noticed, and some of you that are new, know me, I often paint brighter than the actual, original picture, as you can see, that I've got here. So, if you want to go duller than I am, go for it. But I tend to go bright. I don't know, I just like the little joyful feel about it. But let's see if I can go a little bit more today, similar to the colours. All right. So what we will be doing today is going as far as we can until 9 o'clock. And then tomorrow we will keep continuing on. So the good thing about today is you can just, if you are painting along, and you possibly, well, you'll be painting on later at some point, if not live. The benefit of doing it later on is that you can stop and start it. Well, actually, I think you can stop and start live as well, but it won't be live, obviously. All right, so just drawing in your shapes. And again, I just want to encourage you to not get too worried about them being perfectly the same. As those of you or those that are in My Limitless membership, what we're finding with the people in that, and what I'm always hoping with people in that, is that you learn to loosen up a bit, because we're doing a piece in 1 hour in those sessions. We're taking 2 and a bit hours to do it this time, but we do it in an hour. And the reason is not because I want to stress you at all, but I want to push you to really get out of your comfort zone and trying to do things perfectly. All right, I'm going to grab some medium. So, questions about medium. I use an Australian brand, which is Langridge Low Toxic Paint Medium. I might get Judy to see if she can put the ingredients in the chat there at some point. But it is basically got some linseed oil, and it's got some other elements in it that help it be colour fast, and also slows down the drying a little bit more as well. So I love that. But if you have only got linseed oil, that's fine. It's just that it's going to be a little bit thinner and a bit harder to work with. But that's all right. But you might just have to go into your local shop and work out, what you want. Or what they think would be good for you, not what you want. I don't know why I said that. All right, so I have drawn up basically the lines to start with. I think that's all I'm going to do, and then I will, we'll put in the highlights and things later. Just notice this does come down over here. I forgot that little bit. All right, are we ready to go, people? I think we are. Okay, now, as to brushes, what I said on the list was a size 4 and an 8 and a 1. I might end up going a little bit bigger. Who knows, at times I've got sort of, whoops, I'll put it so you can actually see it. We'll see how we go. Now, sizes of brushes are interesting. Different brushes in different parts of the world, and even in the same parts of the world that you live in, can be different sizes, even the same. I've had like a size 10 be, oh, that's a 10, that's all right. Size 10 be this size, and then in another brand it's, this size. So You know, you can see, you know, my hands, I've got, you know, reasonably thin hands. You can sort of see the size of them there. Just two different ones. Sorry about my froggy throat. So the reason I like using filberts, so these are filberts, as you can see when I turn them, they've got that lovely thin element about them, is that beautiful round shape, and you can come in and get really lovely shapes with that. If that was like a round brush, it's a lot harder to get more paint on at a time as well, but you'll see how it goes as we go along. I'm just going to have a little cough over in the distance for a second. Excuse me. The remnants of a little virus this week, so you just have to enjoy the fruits of that, or not enjoy it. All right, where do we begin, hey, when we do something like this? And I'm guessing some of you will know and some of you may not if you're doing this new. And just a reminder that if you are new to oils, this is a really good introduction to oils as well. So please ask questions in the chat if you want to ask as I go along. So I always start with the darks first. So there's lots and lots, as you can see on here, and I'll grab my printout so I can show you properly. You can see all these dark areas here. So what I'm going to start with is doing all these dark areas, and then I'm going to wipe my brush with some paper towel, and then I'm going to blend them a little bit to start with. And then I'm going to start putting the colours in. And I don't know if any of you saw my latest YouTube, but I was painting a little rock, which I'll see if I can find it over here without bumping anything. I painted this, it's coming, a little rocky rock here. And the colours in it weren't exactly the same as the original. I want today for you to not get fussed about colour, all right? Okay, so I'm even going to come back to you here. Colour, my friend. You can get very stuck on mixing the right colour, and I want today, for those of you that have been painting with me for a while, to experiment with this, to not spend so long dabbling around or even getting a little palette knife, mixing up the right colour. Just get it close enough, and you'll see me as I'm doing it today. I get the colour close enough to start with, then we can come back and play with it. And the reason I like doing that is because it starts to give you an idea of the tones and the values and everything, and gets you sort of sitting in the right place. And the other reason I like doing it is because it gives you a quick win as well, straight away, like, oh, it's looking real, it's looking real. So that's the thing. Oh, I did want to mention also that if you, are painting today, I would love to see a picture of where you're up to. So if you want to go to hb@heatherbradbury.com, then you will be able to email me, hb@heatherbradbury.com, email me your results from today. I would really love you to do that. That would be really cool. All right. Okay, I'm going straight into my Payne's Grey, and you can use any black you like if you know to do that. All right, so I'm going in. I'm using, what have I got here? I've got a 6. For some reason, I grabbed a 6 and a 10 rather than a 4 and an 8, but, you know, they're close enough. I don't think I had my glasses on when I did that, but they're very similar sizes. All right, so I'm just going in to look at where all of the darks are, where I can see the really dark sort of black areas. And I did go and get some nice brand new brushes because that does help you get some cleaner lines, definitely. All right, we're going to come in from this area here. We've got 20 of you watching live. Lovely to have you here. If those of you have got free hands, I'd love you to tell me where you're from if you're not painting. Any questions, any things, or any comments about your own, any questions you'd like me to answer, because I can, while I'm painting, I can answer other questions. If you've got questions about oils, if you've got questions about anything else. When's my birthday? No, it's past, by the way. All right, so what I'm doing here is just a very small amount of medium on my brush, and just trying to get those really, looking at where all of those little dark areas are that I can see. They're very dark, so you want these areas to be black. And when you're first starting to paint, you will not feel like you want to go black, black, dark, dark. But I really encourage you to embrace the dark areas because they are the things that make it look real. If you are nervous about going dark, that's very normal, but it's where the contrast and where all of the fun actually begins. It's very cool. So going down into all these little spots here. So yes, I really want to encourage you today as we're mixing colours and as we're doing this to not get too worried about it. And I want to give you the challenge. If you're, like I said, if you're sort of watching this and later on, you're watching it later on, not live, you can stop and start it. But I encourage you not to. I want to encourage you to just go, oh golly, she's up to there, quick, 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 push yourself to see if you can do it in the time that I'm doing it. And it might not be perfectly the way you want it to be, but it's going to really help you in the long run. All right, now there is, we'll go a little bit more. I've probably missed a couple of spots here, maybe. We'll see how we go. There we go. That's a bit of black up there. All right, we've got black here, just a little bit more up in that. Black on that spot. Now there's a lovely little shadow there that's quite dark, so I might just put that in already. If you haven't gessoed this beforehand, and it's fine if you haven't, you want to, if you feel like you can still see little tiny white dots, go back and fill them all in. We want to fill all those little spots that are showing the texture of the canvas. All right, I think there's more dark coming up around this little rock here. Now these rocks were taken in the southern island of Australia. Yes, there are 2 islands in Australia. Tasmania, beautiful place down in there in Deloraine, beside the river down there that goes out to the sea. So it's just a beautiful spot. And I've taken so many photos in that spot of rocks. But the rocks that I'm working on at the moment that we'll be looking at on Friday are actually from Sydney in Australia. All right, so there's another bit here. Beautiful. There we go. You're very quiet in the chat, people. Talk to me. Someone say something. Anything, you know? No. Any other comments? Maybe just even comments from people who have been before and what you've enjoyed about the online things that we've been doing. All right, I think that's okay. You can just chill and watch. It's okay. All right, I think I'm pretty close to happy with where all the darks are now. I'm going to make sure I've got some paper towel handy now. So I'm going to start with the next darkest colour. Look, you can go anywhere really, but I think I'm going to go into this sort of grey colours here. Yes, Andrea, it is hard to paint and type. Exactly. All right, so this one here, I'll just sort of grab my picture. This one here, interesting. Now this is going to be the fun thing. You'll be like, I don't know what colour that is. Okay, let's think about it. It's got a bit of a green feel. It's got a little bit of a darky grey feel. So let's start with a grey. So let's put some black here, a little bit of white, slightly lighter, and we'll put some brown with it as well. And I'm just going to start there. Like I said earlier on, I just want you to just start. Pop some paint on and just go from there. Today is about getting the paint on, and tomorrow is about putting all the details in the next day. We'll see how we go. We might finish this in the 2 days, and then the last day will just be Q&A, but I'm leaving the last day for, to be open for, whatever happens basically. All right, I notice in the middle of this it does feel a little bit greener. Oh, hello from Salinas, California. Have a very blessed rest of your day. Thank you, Kathleen. Lovely to have you. All right, so it feels a bit greener, so I'm going to grab a little bit of the yellow and maybe just a little bit of the white as well. So we've got our Payne's grey, a bit of burnt umber, a bit of golden yellow, and a little bit of white, just to lighten this up just a touch in there. Yeah, I like that. I might just make it even just a touch lighter, a little bit more yellow, a little bit more white into that, and pushing the paint into the canvas so we get rid of all those little white dots. We don't want any of them. And if you notice that it's sloshing around, it means that you've got too much medium. And if you notice if it's just not moving, you need more medium. All right. Okay. So I can see there that now there is some, lighter spots more lighter over here. So I'm going to grab a little bit more yellow, a little bit more white, and I'm just going to make the top of that just a little bit lighter. All right. Now for now, I think I'm not going to do much more to that. I want to just sort of put a base down, but we do want to do as much as we feel, how do I explain how much I'm going to do? I think I want to come back and do the highlights. So I think maybe we'll finish, I'm thinking out loud here, as you can see. I'm going to finish each rock as we go, but we'll do the highlights definitely tomorrow, not today. And so today I really just want to go one rock at a time. And I think why I'm sort of like, thinking out loud here is I was wondering whether I just go through and just do all of the colours flat first. But I think I would rather do each rock as I go. And that's the way I like to teach, is while you're still on a detailed area, you're still thinking about that. So while I'm already thinking about this lighter patch here, I may as well keep going in this area. So that's what we're going to do. I made that decision. All right. So I'm going to, just going to put my image here so I can see it as well. Give me a few different references. So over here it seems to be a little bit bluer. So I'm going to grab a little bit more white and some white and some phthalo blue. And I know that I still have some of this colour left on my brush. So mixing the white and phthalo blue is not going to be like this bright, bright blue. It's actually going to be a little bit duller than that. So I notice that there is this sort of feel all the way down here. The interesting thing is the image that this image that you can see here on my computer, it's really tiny. It's like this big. So I'm trying to see detail that's not there. So you will probably see, that's the reference I'm looking at on the computer, you'll probably see more detail than I, and just go for it. Do the more detail if you want to. But, oh gosh, having said that, if you want to get it done in the time I'm doing, you're going to have to let go a little bit. All right, so I'm just going to just get that little highlight in there, and we're good. All right, I think that's enough for that. I'm going to move on to the next rock. Which one's the next darkest rock? The one's in behind here, and pretty much I think it's just like a bluey browny color, dark color. So I've grabbed some Payne's grey, some burnt sienna, and a little bit of phthalo blue, and we're just going to go in and oh, it's actually lighter than that. We need to add white as well. I was looking at my printout, which is very dark, so that doesn't help. All right, let's get some colour in here. It's definitely not the right colour at the moment, so again, I'm just not worrying about it. Just getting a colour in. What we want to do is make sure that we're looking at the tones and going, is that a darker colour? Golly, it's very blue compared to what it is. There you go, there's an example of just chucking on a colour, hey. I just want to fill that in. And you might find at the end of this session today that I'll be going a lot faster at the end, because I do want to try and at least cover all most of the canvas. We'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. I'm really going with the flow here. I've never really done this over 3 days before, so I'm just going to see how we go. Well, I've never really painted this particular painting. Well, I have before, but I did that in 1 hour. That was a 1 hour sesh. Now, way too blue. Way too blue. So let's make it more green. Let's grab some white and some yellow. I'm going to come down here, get more yellow. And it's quite a bright green, as you can see there, but once I mix it in with whatever is on here, it will actually end up being about the right colour, because there is some colour on here already. All right, let's just get that around there. The shape's a little bit different to the original, but close enough. And I still think that it's, you know, it's got a bit more bluey colour. And look, again, your computer, your printout will be very different to mine. I think it needs to be a bit browner now. All right. So I'm just going to grab this. This is a classic example of just putting a colour on and just seeing where it goes, yeah? That's better. So I added a bit more brown and white. That's much better. All right, it's got a bit of a shape to it. There, I'm going to wipe my brush, some paper towel, and then I'm just going to get that other shape, that darker shape in by adding a bit more black and burnt sienna, just to get that shape in. All right, just get that nice and crisp. All right, let's just get this little corner happening here now. I'm just going to grab a little bit some white and some burnt sienna. It's grey, isn't it, really? Well, mostly grey then, some Payne's grey and some white to this corner here. It's got a nice little shape to it. Push that paint into the canvas. All right, and it's got a little bit of a darker colour, to a darker shape to it, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of Payne's grey and put those dark areas. There's just a little bit of dark down this edge and this edge here. It's really hard to see, it's right up in that corner. All right, and then grab a little bit more of your Payne's grey and just define that edge a bit there. There we go. Lovely. Who's eating breakfast? Who's eating, having supper? All different parts of the world watching on. 30 of you now. Welcome to all of you. It's lovely to have you here. All right, here we go. I'm going to move right along. We're not trying to finish everything right at this moment. Okay, so this one here, again, is a little bit lighter. Or do we go to this one? I think we might go to this one here. This has got a little bit of a blue tinge to it. Now, I haven't wiped my brush much because I'm always thinking about what's on my brush. So at the moment I know there's some greys on there because I've just done that. So that's good because this is a dark colour and I'm going to grab a little bit more blue and white. So I'm going to grab some phthalo blue, put it down here, and grab some more Payne's grey. And I'm going to just extend this darker area here, which is good. Fantastic. And up through here. Excellent. So just getting all those darks in. And it is a little bit lighter over here, and then it gets quite light in the middle. So a little bit lighter. And down through here. So I've just added just a tiny bit of white to that colour. That's a little bit lighter down this area. Now, as we're trying to work out, you know, our colours and our, you know, how dark and how light, I'm always looking at, you know, that contrast, like between one rock and the other. So you want to do your squint and just go, is that right? Is it dark enough? Again, don't stress about getting the colours right. I think even so far I'm actually going a bit duller than what I did. Look how bright the difference. Taking a little bit longer on this, which is really good than what I did last time. All right, so I'm not sure I'm happy with the colour particularly, but again, we're moving on. We can come back and play with that. Let's get this middle section happening now. So let's grab some more white on my brush. Again, I know what's on my brush, so I've just dipped it in the white, and I'm just going to come in here and fill that last little bit in here. Right, cool. And there's sort of like some quite definite shapes, and that's like a shadow, I think, of the rock beside it. And then I think this is probably the shadow of the rock beside it there. So let's get all that colour in. All right, my aim today is to just get the paint on, We're not trying to get it perfectly looking detailed yet. All right, we can already start to see that there feels like, there's some, shadows there, which is really cool. All right, so I'm going to darken this area a little bit more. It doesn't feel like that went dark enough. So I am going to wipe my brush because it has a bit of white on it. So I want to actually get that white off there. So just wipe that a couple of times, going straight back into that Payne's grey. And I really want to get this darker in here. And if you feel like your Payne's grey is not going dark enough, you can actually add a little bit of brown to it if you want to. All right, cool. That's better. Getting that dark, a lot darker down in there. Then I'm going to wipe my brush again. And then I'm just going to blend, just blend this bottom bit, not that other bit. Just blend that bottom bit. Just fill in all that white there. All right. Now I know I have a little bit of black on there, so I'm still going to just go in and, not enough quite, just get a little bit more. And then a little bit more over here. All right. I think we'll just put a little bit more dark at the top there. Let's move on. Whoa, what did I do then? There we go. Let's fix that up. All right, let's see. Where are we going to go next? Well, look, I think my colour's a bit too greeny colour, but again, we're not worrying about colour. All right, let's go to, how much time have we got? We've got 20 minutes left. Let's see if we can scoot through these two, all the greys, the grey rocks. Possibly now. All right, so yep, this rock here, mostly grey with a bit of blue in it. So let's go back to some Payne's grey. I've already got a bluey colour down here, so I'll just mix it in with that. And a bit of white, because it is a bit lighter. And we'll just start somewhere and see where we go. Oh, is that right? It's close enough for now. The tone's pretty similar. I like moving my brush around. When I come to the straight edges, I actually move it around so that I can actually get that really nice clean edge. And that's what you want to make sure with this particular painting, is that there's really clean edges. Take your time to get that, add a little bit of medium, get some paint and go along those edges to get them really nice and smooth like that. All right, and it's quite dark over here. Let's keep painting some of this bluey grey colour in. Okay, a bit more black, a bit more phthalo. It's quite dark down in here. How are we going there? Yep, we'll go right up the top. Just blending that all in so it sort of blends in, because it really does blend right into the background there, doesn't it? So quite a bit of black on that edge, so it disappears. All right, now through the middle it gets a little bit lighter, so I'm going to grab, and I'm getting a bit too blue, so I'm going to just try and grab just some black and some white, just get some grey in this middle section. Still a little bit bluey, but looks like that's what that rock's going to be for me. All right, get some colour in there. It really is only light sort of through that section there. We'll put all the highlights on tomorrow. So, I mean, if you want to play with them now, you can, but I'm going to leave the highlights till tomorrow, just trying to get some colour on today. All right, I feel like I need to darken this other area over here. So let's see if we can get some more grey happening. I'm running out of paint. That's probably what will help if I grab some more paint. There we go. Alrighty. So some black and some white. And a little bit lighter. When I say black and white, I mean titanium white and Payne's grey. All right, so just coming over here now, just a little bit darker. A little bit darker grey coming up through here. This has got a bit of texture in this, but again, tomorrow we'll play around with some of that texture. Just trying to get those dark areas and the light areas in, and we'll play around with the rest tomorrow. We're really just trying to get the basic bases in. Now the top of this is lighter, so I'm just going to grab some white I already have grey on my brush, so I know that it's going to still be grey. And I'm just going to use the point of the brush. Notice I have only used one brush as well the whole time so far. You could use the smaller brush to try and get into that point. Grab a little bit more white just to get that a little bit brighter. And even brighter because it is quite light up there. And don't stress if it's not exactly the same shape. Just pull a bit of that lighter colour down into there. All right, excellent. Okay, 20 minutes to go. We've done that one. Let's now do this bottom one. Really easy because it's quite blurry. How do you do blurry? You just blur it. It's got a bit of a greeny feel, but I know that I've probably still got a little bit of remnants on that from some of the others. So I'm just going to try putting that grey in. Okay, it needs a little bit of yellow still. Tiny bit of yellow. Just to get that a little bit greeny feel. Just plonk all that in there. Get enough paint on your brush. So if you're new to oils, the hardest thing to learn is how much medium and how much paint, what quantity. And it's one of those things that you've really just got to experiment with. You'll notice I'm not using a huge amount of medium. Just like I'm just dipping just in so that it just gives it, so now I can actually get that really smooth edge if I put a little bit of that medium in on the brush. And if you want to know the resources and things to use, there's some links below to go and have a look at that. That's very grey. I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow and brown and just introduce that in a little bit here, just to give it a bit more interest. Mix it in with the grey. I feel like it needed a little bit more colour into that. All right, while I'm here, I'm going to grab a tiny bit of white on my brush because I noticed there's some highlights. I know I said I wasn't going to do highlights, but these are very blurry, so I sort of want to do it while it's wet and not later on. So grabbing a little bit of white, which won't end up being fully white because it's very wet here. And we're just sort of putting some blends in while the paint is wet, yeah? All right, just wipe my brush and then I'm just, oh, I wiped it into a blue spot. So now we have got blue. All right, so we'll just sort of blend those in a little bit. All right, my highlight's gone blue, but I'm going to leave it at that. All right, now let's go for, what have we got? We're still a quarter of an hour. We're laughing. All right, let's go for this larger. Now that's a really interesting colour, that one. It's grey and blue and yellow. It's got all sorts of colours. So let's start with what we know, grey. So let's grab some black and some white, some Payne's Grey and Burnt Sienna. Oh, we're nearly running out of room here. We'll go down here. Okay, I'm going to start with just putting some paint on, and that's another thing I really want to encourage you to do. Just get some paint on to start with and see what it looks like. Now, the light's shining on that. It's a bit hard to see exactly the colour that I'm doing, but I think you can sort of pretty much see it there. It's a bit too, it's not bad. We'll see. Maybe I'm just going to fill the whole thing with all of that. I like going around the edges too, by the way. All right, let's get this in here. Got all sorts of colours on my brush, so it's certainly making a rainbow of colours. Just grabbed a fair bit more medium just to get some paint on here. Just want to get it on. I'm happy with that base colour. It's very blue here, but I don't mind that. Grab some more. So that there will be my Payne's Grey, titanium white, and I had a little bit of the remainders of some phthalo blue. I haven't really used turquoise yet. Interesting. Maybe we can use it in this one. I put those, colours in before I'd actually painted it. It just was my guess. So you might not even need it, which is cool. One less paint colour. All right, see how we go there. Just going around there, trying to get that shape really nice. Love you to ask any questions, and if you would like to email me later at hb@heatherbradbury.com, Judy will put that in the comments below, my email. I'd love to see if any of you have actually painted this. And even if you've painted it, during the day or overnight or whatever, email me, because I'd love to show people tomorrow, where you've got to. All right, I put a base colour down, which I'm really happy with. It's got a very blue feel to it, but it needs a tiny bit of yellow in it now. So let's see how we go. I'm just going to grab a tiny bit of yellow on my brush. It's almost a dry brush that I'm just sort of pulling in. Just as you can see, I'm not dipping it straight into all that colour there. I'm just trying to just hint a hint of it throughout. And it has got a little bit of a lighter feel in that middle section, so I'm going to grab a little bit of white as well, and try and just put a bit of that feel in. You can see there's sort of like a light section. I can't point on top of that because it's a digital image, but here we go. We'll use this here. You can see there's sort of a lighter section coming in through this area here. All right, a bit more white. I think it still needs to be lighter. Oh, and blue apparently. Wipe that off. All right, let's see if I can get rid of that blue. Might just need to get some paper towel, because that's going to go intense in a minute if I don't get that off. And that's what's great about oils too. You can rub things off. All right, let's come in and just lighten that a little bit more all through here. Now that I've gone a bit too light, and that's all right. I'm just going to wipe my brush again and try and blend that in a bit more. Blendy, blendy, pushing that paint around. Pushing it all around. Excellent. Good to see lots of you still watching live. Happy to have some company on this lovely morning in Melbourne. All right, just trying to get that lighter section in there. And if you are painting live and you want to put your highlights on now, you're very welcome to, but I'm going to leave it. It's sort of like the big reveal the next few days. Well, probably tomorrow we'll start doing that, of course. All right, so I'm just continuing to get that lovely sort of shape that's going around that's a bit lighter. Very dry. I'm not using a lot of paint, a lot of medium. All right, I think I'm going to leave that there. Maybe I'm going to put a little bit of dark. I've just noticed, use the colour that I was using before, a little bit of dark, a little bit more dark through a couple of sections there. Maybe it's a bit blue, but that doesn't matter, does it? All right, so we've done all of those. We've got 10 minutes left. We're laughing. I'm actually going to go to this section at the back here because it's in behind. Or will I? It's a different colour. It's a pinky colour. Maybe we'll leave the pinks and the yellows till tomorrow. Let's do that. We'll do the pinks and yellows tomorrow. This section here, it's a grey with a bit of yellow in it, similar to what we had down here. So we'll grab some black and some white, some Payne's grey and some white, which was what I had here, and a tiny bit of our golden yellow in that. Tiny, tiny bit. All right. It probably needs to be lighter, so I'm going to grab more white, a little bit of medium, and let's go for it. Let's just put that whole paint on. Get it in. Get those shapes in. I'm happy with that colour. Looks pretty good. The light from my the light here is making it a little bit shiny, a bit bright, but that's all right. I'll show you in a minute the colours on when I come back to my face, and you'll see a little bit darker up here, but that's pretty close. I'm very happy with that. So it's a bit of Payne's grey, titanium white, and a little bit of golden yellow. I just don't have enough paint. You've got to make sure you actually get paint on your brush. If you feel like it's too dry, just add a bit more medium and add a bit more paint as well. Now, I'm not going to turn this around because of the nature of, doing it on camera, but you can turn your little canvas around to try and come in from different angles to get that nice shape. So yeah, feel free to do that. All right. Cool. I'm going to finish up in a couple of minutes and come back to you and chat to you at the end. That still feels like we need a little bit more yellow colour in there, so I'm going to grab a little bit. I'm going to grab some brown and some yellow, actually. Just pull that down into here. Ooh, I made it a little bit bright, but I tend to do that when I'm painting. I like the brights. All right, this needs a little bit more shape to it, so I'm going to grab some Payne's Grey and just get that dark section in there. And that was too much paint. I'm just going to try and get rid of most of that paint off my brush. I just want to make this a little bit darker in here. Not with too much paint on the brush. There, and a little bit darker up the top here. All right, and I'm going to grab some Payne's Grey because I missed a little bit of paint there. So let's get that sorted. All right, how you going, people? Did anyone paint along with me for today? I would love to know. If you did, it's fine if you didn't. You're enjoying watching, the whole 24 of you so far, and there'll be lots more who will have watched later as well. Well, we've done a lot of the blues and the greys today, which I'm really happy with. And I think we might leave it there because we're going to start doing, there's a little bit of pinky colour. Oh, I might do the background here, actually, while I've got sort of like a grey on my brush. I'll just finish this little bit here. Get a little bit of medium, a little bit of grey, and just finish that section there. Pop that colour in, wipe my brush, and then blend across it. Just get that nice and blended down in there. And around the edge. Excellent. How are we looking, people? We haven't even got the highlights on and it's already starting to look real, which I'm really happy with. Just grabbing some Payne's Grey just to get those shapes just a little bit more neat. I'm going to take some time, if nothing else, take some time to get things neat. Now that I'm looking at this, I can see this here, it's got to be a bit darker. So before we start tomorrow, I really just wanted to get this a little bit darker in here. This is what I mean about getting some paint on and then just looking around and going, what else do I need to do to make this more like the original? And I can see down in here is a lot darker as well. I'll do that really quickly now, but tomorrow we'll do some more of this sort of refining as well. All right, but you can see where we're heading with that. We can go and play around with things a lot more. Excellent, excellent, and excellent. How did you go, people? How'd you go? I'll show you where I'm up to. In here, there we go. See it a little bit closer up the camera there. And here's the printout, which will look very different because printouts do look different. Yeah. So tomorrow we will be looking at doing those other colours in there. There's some pinky colours and different colours, and the yellow right in the corner there, which would be a lot of fun. And you might see, woo, if I go like this, woo, which way? This way. This way. This is the same size as all of these here. These are the little minis that we've been doing. Some of these, I think, what have we been doing? We did the dolphin, we did this one, the apple. A few of these we've been doing in our Limitless membership. If you want to find out more about that, I'll get you to put a link in below in the description. You can actually join the membership, but we'll be talking more about that in the next couple of days. But how fun is that already? Even without the highlights, it's starting to look real. Please, please, please. I haven't got my slide because it all didn't work earlier, but imagine across here it says hb@heatherbradbury.com. I'm going to actually draw it on a piece of paper so that you can see it, and you'll see the link below as well to, I'll write my name, Heather Bradbury heatherbradbury.com. You can take a screenshot if you need to. Where are you? hb@heatherbradbury.com. I want you to send what you've done so far. Please send it in. You know, obviously it's not finished. Hello. But I want to see where you've got to. That'd be really cool. And if you are watching live and you're in Australia, you've got the rest of the day, my people, to do this painting. So go for it and do it. That's if you're not at work. And if you're watching this late at night somewhere, it's probably almost midnight by now, possibly in another part of the world. I know Bettina, it's probably midnight right there. Maybe you could do it tomorrow morning when you wake up, and email me at hb@heatherbradbury.com. That would be really cool, and I would love to see where you got to as well. And if you've got any questions, I love answering your questions in emails as well. So my friends, thank you so much for joining me. We got through with some hiccups at the beginning, as does happen when you're doing live stuff, and it's very authentic, which is absolutely cool. I've really enjoyed doing this today, and I'm really enjoying the difference between this one and this one in terms of my darks and lights. I'm going to try and go a little bit darker as I play with this tomorrow and the next day. Come and join me. If you're coming on and joining me today and you haven't, after this session, you can come live tomorrow and join me as well and catch up overnight. Check out the links, all the links below, everything's below, all the information to join me. And if you're watching in the future, there'll be links there for you to join me as well. Okay, I think it's time to go. Thank you everyone for coming. Oh, I've missed all these comments down here. My goodness, I've been so busy. Let me have a little look through just before we go. I love using ultramarine blues and golds in my paintings. Likewise, oh, gold. Andrea, I like it when Heather needs to fix things. Helps to see how to, and how also that it is easy to fix. Yes, and I do like to do that. I love that you said that. That's really cool. Mine's a work in progress. I'm always fixing things. Gives me confidence to work faster. Thanks, Andrea. You've done very well in your comments here. I have a bigger piece that I'm working on. Always tempted to tweak. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. And we've got a few more here. Lots of thumbs up. Thank you. You're a lot of fun. Thanks, Kathleen. Well, I hope so, even if we sort of fumble along and make things work. But we have had fun today. I've really enjoyed it. I do love doing these lives, and I really love interacting with you. Joel, good night from France. Fantastic, Joel. Thank you for commenting. And sorry I didn't see all your comments earlier, but I was busy doing some nice work there. And so were some of you. Okay, people, before we go, remember, I want to see your work. I'm giving you some deadlines. I'm giving you something to do, because I don't want you to go away from here and go, oh, I'll do that one day. Heather's going to have it up for a week or two or whatever. It'll only be a week. Why not do it today? Why not do it tonight? Why not do it while you're thinking about it and while you've been watching this? And you'll be amazed at what you can do if you just take some time and just watch step by step. All right. Until tomorrow, everybody, thank you for coming. Thanks, Robin Pierce. Thank you also for engaging. I love it when you engage in the comments. And Andrea, vive la France. Thank you. And until next time, until tomorrow, I will see you there. Check out your emails for links for tomorrow. And let's have some fun, some more fun. Bye.